right in the shot. It's a wide angle.
She's like, what? I want to be in the video too. I'm Dani. I've been coming to CrossFit since October of 2023. I live right here in Branson. I like hiking and cooking food. Yeah, this is an online search. I was looking for some sort of like gym to help me with like workouts because I knew that like if I tried doing it myself, I'd burn out too fast. And so I just looked up some CrossFit gyms in Branson, and that's how I found this gym. So I knew that I was preparing to move overseas within the next year. And I knew that like just being overall physically smaller, that might be a setback for like when it came to just being able to like lift something or just like hold my own. And so I wanted to be able to work on my overall fitness and strength, so that way when I got overseas, I'd be able to like continue doing those things, but then be able to do those practical life normal things like carry a box over to this thing, be able to run like a mile without feeling like I was exhausted. Yeah, so I am supposed to be leaving within a week or so to move to Spain for long-term mission work. So this is something I've wanted to do, well, for a very long time. It's something I've been pursuing for about 5 years. Yeah, and then about a year and a half ago, I was like, okay, I have the green light to begin applying. Just felt like the right time from the Lord and everything. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna apply. Yeah, it's been a very long journey this past year and a half of going through like the interview process, lots of paperwork, getting accepted, and then in the past 10 months, raising all of my financial support for moving overseas to Spain. Because in the past 5 years, I've done some shorter term trips, anywhere from 3 months to 2 weeks. And those trips kind of helped like me see what life was going to be like overseas, Spain particularly. And then in the past year and a half, and I was like, oh yeah, this is what I'm supposed to be doing, and it's now time to move over there for like several years. That's when I was like, okay, yeah, then I need to address the fitness side of it as well. I didn't fully know what to expect because like the only thing I knew about CrossFit was like a barbell, and that people do a lot of things with barbells in CrossFit. So I was like, well, okay, cool. I guess I'll have to work up to that. It's very nice that there's a training bar that's way lighter, and so that was very encouraging. I will say the first workout I actually did was awful. It was a very intense like cardio one. Yeah, the coaches, honestly, like the coach was really encouraging and just kept being like, you got this, you can do this. And honestly, the people around me were really supportive as well. And so that motivated me, even though it was like, oh, this might be intimidating to come to like a workout session where you're having to like work among other people. I wanted that because, again, I knew that if I was doing it by myself, I'd burn out too fast because I don't know what I'm doing. Realizing like how encouraging everybody was just reaffirmed, like, yeah, I can do this around other people. It doesn't matter if this person's over here lifting 100 pounds over their head and I'm struggling to get 20. Like, it's okay. Everyone's working at their own pace, and that's encouraged. And I would say, one, I learned quickly that CrossFit was more than just like the barbell stuff, and that it was more like things like we have running or like jump ropes and that kind of stuff, the bikes or the rowers. So it was like more of like a variety, which was really nice. Yeah, that's definitely something that I noticed is they weren't expecting me to grab like the heavy barbell off of the rack when I could barely hold it at the time. And they were like, no, like start with the PVC pipe, learn the movement. And then when you're ready, grab one of the 7-pound trainer bars and just keep practicing with that. And it was cool how that built my confidence way quicker than if I'd started with like the 35-pound bar. There's no way I would have been able to have lifted, like done that, even doing the movement correctly, just because I wasn't strong enough yet. And so it was cool when it was like, okay, you add a little bit of weight at a time, build up that strength, build up that confidence that I can do this. And then before I knew it, I had progressed to the barbell. And it's also cool too, like sometimes I even did it today where it was like, oh, I can do the barbell. And I was like, I was struggling. And the coach was like, drop to the trainer bar, add a little bit of weight to that. And before I knew it, I had worked back up to the barbell and got the barbell up without thinking about it. Well, at the time I lived like 5 minutes down the road. So that was really nice because I didn't have to like travel all that far. I now live 20 minutes away. Still chose to come because I was like, no, I really like being here. I like the community, worth the drive for me. Yeah, originally I will say like the reviews online helped when I was first looking at gym. Did look at the Instagram page. That was something, yes, I did. I really did. Yeah. I was like, okay, they seem pretty legit. Like I'll I'll send a message, see what happens. And yeah, and you got back to me pretty quickly. So done little things here and there, some classes like in college, but nothing that was like, okay, I'm making progress. I want to like stick with this. Or now I've been here for over a year. So compared to like here, because I did look at like some gyms that in the area as well that offered classes, definitely like the time played into that as well. But just like when I reached out to you and you got back to me right away and were like, hey, God, come on in for like a consultation, like come watch a class, like really was like, okay, like they care and are taking the time to ensure that this is a good fit for me. You did also tell me if you try your first class and you don't like it, like I'll refund you the money. And I was like, okay, cool. Like that's kind of like come try it out. And like I said, that first workout was really, really intense. Yeah. But I was like, okay, I think I can come back. Like if I don't keep trying this, I'm never going to do this. I'm the kind of person that when I start something, I'm going to finish it or continue to do it to the best of my ability. Yeah, I see that in lots of areas of my life, and it's something that moving overseas is something that I know I'm going to struggle with sometimes. Of it's going to be different language. Yeah, exactly. And I will go to school to help me learn the language, but that's going to still take time and to build relationships. Just find like how to get from point A to point B on the bus. Yeah, but those different things I know will help me when I'm like, okay, this is really tough. But if I keep trying, ask for help, that is going to pay off in the long run. Well, one thing that someone that I know told me is they were like, hey, like I noticed that, like this is so random. They're like, I noticed that you sit up straighter, that your posture seems better. And so that was something that I hadn't noticed because I don't typically see myself sitting, but that was cool that someone else had noticed that. And then just when I was able to like move to like the 35-pound barbell and I got it over my head for the first time, it was like, okay, like I am making progress. And that was like for me a very like visible like goal, I guess, because it was something was like my goal was to get off the trainer bar more consistently, and then I finally did, and I was like, all right, yay. So something I was actually thinking about the other day, I feel like my mindset with just like how I just view different things is better. Like the other day I was like, oh, it's kind of cool. Like I feel like there are like different parts of like my body that have like become a little more like muscle toned than just like normal. And so like that's kind of cool. Just like the mindset of like, oh yeah, like this can be a muscle, and that's like really cool for that. Continuing to like come back here like multiple times a week. Oh no. Well, for me personally, like at the beginning, the goal was just like overall physical fitness and strength, and just seeing the difference that I've like had in the past year is really cool. And it's something that is encouraging because it's like, okay, that doesn't mean I have to stop. Like it's not like I arrive at this like peak potential and I'm like, all right, cool, I've arrived. Like that's just life in general. It's like you have to keep pursuing as long as you're here on this earth. Like there's still things to do and stuff to work on. For me, it's about like, what do you prioritize and what's important in your life? And so knowing that as consistently as I can for over a year, and seeing that that has paid off by being consistent, that really encourages me to like one, keep coming to CrossFit, but to two, also keep pursuing other things in life, because it's like, okay, you're not going to just be able to, you know, run a marathon, for example, tomorrow necessarily. But if you work on it and start progressing towards it slowly, then eventually you're going to like make that progress. And it's a lot of like little goals that you set along the way to your overall goal that I have found like will keep me motivated to keep pursuing. There were a few times that earlier this year, back in the spring, I dealt with like a knee issue for a couple of weeks where like I went on a hike and my like knee popped out really bad and it hurt for a few weeks. And so that was something for a little while where I was like, well, maybe I just won't go for a few weeks. And no, like I can keep coming, and if I can't do the movement. And there were a few things where I was like, hey, I'm just not going to squat for a bit. Did like a modified workout. So the past year, I've been preparing to move overseas, Spain, to work with the kids camp ministry. And I should be leaving in about a week or so. Still waiting on a visa approval. So I may be here a little bit longer, but I hope not. When I get over to Spain, I'll start language school to help me with my Spanish, because I know a little bit, but without consistent practice and use. Yes, there are 3 CrossFit gyms in the city I'll be living in. So my plan is once I kind of get over jet lag, I will go check them out, and definitely want to join one over there. And that'll help me with my Spanish, help me learn the metric system. Honestly, like, for me, I would say like it doesn't really matter like what your background is, whether like you're here to like lose weight, you're here to like strengthen muscle and like gain weight, like whatever that is, honestly, like it's worth at least trying more than once, because if you're not willing to like try something for like a few sessions at least, then you're not going to know if you're actually going to like it or not, or if it is going to work for you. And I found by just coming, trying, being consistent, trying to connect with people and just be a part of the class, like that made a difference for me. If you're on the fence about it, I would encourage you to at least just try a few sessions and see how it goes before you make a decision whether or not CrossFit is for you.